Thank you so much for tuning in to Living in the Brandywine Valley area. Today I'm talking about a conversation that I have with buyers pretty often, and that's when buyers ask me about distressed properties in the area. So, what is a distressed property? That could be a foreclosure, a bank owned property, could be an estate sale, could be a divorce situation potentially where the property was maybe let go. Could also be a short sale. And by the way, a short sale is when the person who owns the property, they have stopped paying their mortgage payments, so the loan may have gone into default, and the property is not worth what they owe the bank. So they're selling it for less than what they owe on their mortgage, and they need to get permission from their bank to accept less for the property and release the lien. So that's what a short sale is. Right now, distressed properties make up about 2.5% of our available inventory. And it can actually be quite competitive because due to the rising prices in the area, the low inventory, the influx of buyers, there's a lot of investors out there. And the investors are literally fighting over these distressed properties and fighting over a good deal that they can turn around and flip it and resell it for a profit. If you're looking to purchase a distressed property, a couple of things that you need to know before going into it is you might have a problem with financing. So, unless you're paying cash in full, if you're looking to get a mortgage, the mortgage company wants you to purchase a house that's move-in ready, where everything is in working order. The house, you can't have a ceiling that's caving in. Things need to work. The lender is going to send an appraiser out to the property, not only to determine that the value is there, but to determine that it's able to be lived in, unless you're getting a construction loan, which that's a whole other story for another day. It comes with higher fees. But to get a basic mortgage could be problematic when you're buying one of these distressed properties. So since we're talking about distressed properties, I'll also discuss properties on the flip side of that, which are often called flips. When an investor purchases a home and they're looking to flip it and sell it at a profit, anyone can do that, right? You don't need a license to do that. You don't need to be qualified. You don't need to be a contractor. Anyone can technically do it. So we've got anyone and everyone out there purchasing properties at a lower price, doing the work to flip it, and then selling it at a higher price. What you need to be careful of is the quality of the work that's been done. So did this person look into the HVAC system? Did they look into the roof? Did they look into the structural integrity of the property? They could have put some new cabinets in the kitchen, painted the walls, put in some cheap new flooring and sell it at a much higher price and totally ignored those big expensive systems, right? So that's something that you really need to be aware of with flipped properties. So when I walk into a flipped property with buyers, other than looking at those major systems, checking out the roof, seeing what that looks like, looking at the HVAC system, I'm looking for things like, how are the cabinets hung? Seems like a minute detail, but it could be a giveaway in the overall quality of the work. Are the cabinet doors hung crooked? Do they open easily and straight? How about the tile work? How was the tile work done? Is it nice and even and flush? Or is it just cockeyed crazy all over the place, right? So these are some telltale signs. I also ask for permits. Were permits pulled? Were the contractors who did the work licensed? So these are all things you can look into when purchasing a flipped home. Something else to be mindful of with these properties is that you do run the risk of the property being reassessed for tax purposes after closing if there's been a lot of renovations done. So you may very unexpectedly get hit with a higher property tax bill after the fact. Not to discourage anyone from purchasing a flipped home, it's a great option if you just don't have the time to fix up a property on your own, but these are just things you need to be aware of. So by and large, in the Brandywine Valley area, most homes are going to be a standard sale. As I mentioned, the distressed properties only make up about 2.5% of our available inventory. So with most homes being a standard sale where the homeowner has lived in the home for usually quite a few years, they've done upgrades over time, updates over time in order to live in it. So those updates are usually of a of a good quality. So that's definitely going to be, by and large, what you're going to find in our market other than new construction. However, what my favorite type of home to sell is one that's a little bit of a fixer-upper, but it's kind of the opposite of one I talked about earlier. The opposite being that the homeowner has taken care of all the major systems. Maybe they've been in the home for 50 years and they've replaced the roof. They've replaced the HVAC. They've got documentation on everything. But maybe the kitchen is a little bit older. Maybe there's still older carpet in the property, but everything is clean and well maintained. Buyers can move in. It's totally move-in ready. You don't have to worry about financing issues. And the best part is you can do the upgrades as you go along and build that equity. So you're going to be paying for a house that needs upgrades, right? So you're going to be a little bit less than the average market value for a home like that. And you're going to be able to make it your own, put in some elbow grease, build that equity. That is a great situation, especially for first-time home buyers.